Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Let me ask you something. How many of you have spent sleepless nights worrying about what others think of you? How many of you have held yourself back because you were afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of making the wrong move? Today, I want you to understand one powerful truth. When you stop caring about things that don't matter, everything will fall into place. Let me tell you something. Too many of us live our lives chasing approval. We wake up in the morning, check our phones, scroll through notifications, and let a number on a screen decide how we feel about ourselves. We measure success by likes, by comments, by applause. But let me ask you this. What happens when nobody claps? What happens when nobody acknowledges your hard work? Does that mean you're not worthy? Does that mean you don't matter? No. Real success doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need a round of applause to know you're doing something meaningful. You don't need anyone else to tell you that you're enough. You have to believe it. You have to know it deep down in your soul before anybody else does. Because if you keep waiting for validation, if you keep looking around for approval, you will never take that first step toward your destiny. Let me tell you a truth that most people won't. Validation is a trap. The moment you start living for it, you become a prisoner to it. You do things not because you love them, not because they matter to you, but because you want someone else to recognize you. You post pictures, you share accomplishments, you shape your life in a way that is pleasing to the crowd. And the moment they stop clapping, you start questioning yourself. The moment they criticize you, you start doubting everything. But listen to me. What people think of you is none of your business. Their opinions do not define your reality. Just because they don't see your worth doesn't mean you aren't valuable. Just because they don't believe in you doesn't mean you aren't capable. The world is full of people who will tell you what you can and cannot do, people who will project their fears onto you. But at the end of the day, their fears are not yours to carry. Their doubts are not yours to entertain. You are not here to live for them. You are here to live for you. Think about some of the greatest people in history. Think about the visionaries, the game changers, the ones who refused to be ordinary. Do you think they waited for permission? Do you think they asked, is it okay if I change the world? No! They decided they believed in themselves. Long before anyone else did, they pushed forward when people laughed, when people doubted, when people said it was impossible, because they knew that their worth wasn't dependent on someone else's opinion. And that's what you need to understand. The moment you stop seeking validation, the moment you stop worrying about who approves of you, is the moment you take your power back. Because when you're constantly looking for approval, you're handing control of your life to other people. You're letting them dictate what you do, how you feel, how you move. But when you finally say, I don't need anyone to tell me I'm enough, I already know it, that's when everything changes. That's when you become unstoppable. I know it's hard. I know it's tempting to want recognition. We all want to be seen. We all want to be appreciated. But you have to learn to clap for yourself even when nobody else does. You have to learn to move forward even when no one is cheering. You have to trust in yourself even when the world is silent. And let me tell you, when you stop caring about the approval of others, something amazing happens. You start doing things because they matter to you. You start chasing dreams that light a fire in your soul. Not because they look good to the outside world, but because they fulfill you. You stop bending, stop shrinking, stop molding yourself into something that fits someone else's expectations. You start living authentically. And that's when the right things fall into place. That's when you attract the right people, the right opportunities, the right energy. Because when you're true to yourself, you create a life that is meant for you, not one that is designed to impress others. So I need you to make a decision today. I need you to decide that you are done living for the applause. I need you to decide that you don't need validation to be great, because you are already great. You are already worthy. You are already enough. Believe it, own it, walk in it, and watch how everything falls into place. Let me tell you something. Fear is the biggest liar you will ever meet. Fear will whisper in your ear, telling you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that if you try, you're going to fail. It will build walls around you, trapping you in the same place while life moves forward without you. And the worst part, Most people believe it. They let fear control them. They let fear steal their dreams before they even try. But I need you to understand something. Fear is not real. It only has power if you give it power. You see, fear is nothing more than a story. A story your mind creates to keep you safe, to keep you from stepping into the unknown. And sure, in some situations, fear can be helpful. Fear stops you from walking into danger. But most of the time, fear is stopping you from living. It's stopping you from chasing your dreams, from speaking up, from taking that first step toward the life you were meant to live. How many times have you held yourself back because you were afraid of failing, afraid of looking stupid, afraid of what other people might say? And so you stayed in your comfort zone. You played it safe. You convinced yourself that it wasn't the right time, that you weren't ready, that maybe success was for other people, but not for you. But let me ask you, how's that working out for you? Because last time I checked, nobody ever changed their life by staying in the same place. Nobody ever reached greatness by letting fear win. Every single person who has ever achieved something incredible had to face fear. They had to step into the unknown without any guarantees. They had to risk falling, risk failing, risk looking foolish. But do you know what separates them from the ones who never make it? They did it anyway. They felt the fear and moved forward. They refused to let it hold them back. And that's what you have to do. You have to decide that fear will no longer control you. You have to understand that failure is not something to be afraid of. It's something to embrace, because failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every great person you admire has failed. Every champion, every innovator, every leader has faced setbacks. But instead of letting failure define them, they use it as fuel. They learned, they adjusted, they grew stronger. You see, fear and failure are just tests. They are there to see how bad you really want it. Are you willing to push through? Are you willing to keep going even when it's hard? Because the truth is, success doesn't come to those who never fall. It comes to those who refuse to stay down. Think about this. What would your life look like if you weren't afraid? If you weren't afraid of failing? If you weren't afraid of judgment, if you weren't afraid of stepping outside of your comfort zone, what dreams would you chase? What risks would you take? What version of yourself would you become? Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the fear you refuse to let go of. It's not your talent. It's not your intelligence. It's not luck. It's your mindset. The moment you stop caring about failing, the moment you stop letting fear make decisions for you, that's when you become unstoppable. That's when doors start opening. That's when you realize that fear was never real to begin with. It was just a shadow, a thought, a story that was never meant to define you. So today, I challenge you, let go of fear. Take the risk, make the move, chase the dream. Because everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. And the only thing holding you back is you. Too many people are so obsessed with the result that they forget to enjoy the process. They want success, they want achievement, they want to reach the top, but they don't want to go through the journey that gets them there. And that's the problem. Because the truth is, greatness isn't built in a moment. It's built in the grind. Think about it. How many times have you set a goal and then become frustrated because you weren't seeing results fast enough? You start going to the gym, but after 2 weeks, you don't see much progress, so you give up. You start a new business, but when it doesn't take off overnight, you start doubting yourself. You work hard on a dream, but because success isn't happening as quickly as you expected, you start questioning if it's even worth it. And that right there, that impatience, that need for instant validation is why most people never reach their full potential, because they are too focused on the destination and not enough on the journey. You need to understand something. Real success takes time. The people you admire, the ones who are at the top of their game, didn't get there overnight. They spent years grinding, failing, learning, and improving. They weren't focused on immediate results. They were focused on getting better every single day. Look at any master of their craft, athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, musicians. Do you think they became great because they obsessed over instant success? No, they became great because they fell in love with the process. They showed up every day even when they didn't feel like it. They put in the work when nobody was watching. They didn't quit just because things weren't happening fast enough. You see, when you attach your happiness to a specific outcome, you set yourself up for disappointment. Because the truth is, you can't always control the outcome You can't always control how fast success comes or when things will fall into place, but what you can control is your effort, your discipline, your mindset. So instead of obsessing over results, focus on the process. Focus on getting just 1% better every day. Focus on the small wins, because those small wins add up. Those small victories, those daily habits, that commitment to improvement, that's what leads to greatness. Think about a tree. You don't plant a seed and expect a full-grown tree the next day. You water it, you nurture it, you give it sunlight. You trust that even though you don't see immediate results, something is happening beneath the surface, and then one day, that seed turns into something strong, something unshakable. That's how success works. You have to trust the process. You have to keep going, even when you don't see immediate results. You have to believe that every rep in the gym, every late night spent working, every extra hour of practice, it all matters. Because one day, all those small efforts will add up. One day, the results will come. One day, everything you've been working for will fall into place. But until then, you have to keep showing up. You have to stay focused. You have to remind yourself that it's not just about the destination, it's about who you become along the way. So stop stressing over when success will come. Stop obsessing over how long it's taking. Just focus on the work. Focus on the process. Because when you do that, when you commit to mastery, when you fall in love with getting better every single day, that's when success finds you. That's when everything falls into place. Let me tell you something. People will always have something to say. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you try to prove yourself, there will always be someone sitting on the sidelines, ready to criticize, ready to doubt, ready to tell you what you can and cannot do. That's just how the world works. But here's what you need to understand. Not everyone deserves a voice in your life. Not everyone's opinion is worth listening to, because most of the time, the people who doubt you the most, the people who try to tear you down, are the ones who are too afraid to chase their own dreams. They project their fears onto you. They see you trying to rise, trying to break free, trying to do something different, and it makes them uncomfortable, because if you succeed, it forces them to face the fact that they've been playing it safe. So what do? They criticize. They tell you it won't work. They tell you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough. And if you're not careful, you'll start believing them. You'll start letting their doubts become your doubts. You'll start holding yourself back, not because you can't do it, but because someone else told you that you couldn't. But let me tell you something. Their words don't define your reality. You do. Their opinions are not facts. Just because someone says you can't doesn't mean you won't. Just because someone doubts you doesn't mean you should doubt yourself. You have to learn how to silence the noise. You have to learn how to tune out the voices that don't serve you. Because if you listen to every critic, if you take every opinion to heart, you will never move forward. You will stay stuck, trapped in a cycle of fear and self-doubt. Think about the greats. Think about the people who changed the world. Do you think they got there by listening to every negative voice around them? No. They had tunnel vision. They blocked out the distractions, the doubters, the negativity. They focused on their mission, on their purpose, on what they believed, and that's why they made it. You have to do the same. You have to protect your energy, protect your vision, be selective about whose opinions you allow into your mind. Because the truth is, most people who try to tear you down are just revealing their own insecurities. Their words are not a reflection of your potential. They're a reflection of their own limitations. So stop seeking approval from people who don't matter. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop letting the noise of the world drown out your own voice. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what they say. It's about what you believe. It's about what you do. It's about the choices you make. So silence the noise, focus on your path, and keep moving forward. Because the only voice that truly matters, the only voice that can shape your future, is your own. Let me tell you something. You don't have to chase what's meant for you. When you are true to yourself, when you stop forcing things, when you stop trying to control every little outcome, life has a way of aligning in ways you never imagined. Too many people live in a constant state of stress, always trying to force things to happen on their timeline. They rush into relationships that aren't right. They chase opportunities that don't align with who they are. They hold on to things that are clearly falling apart, afraid to let go because they think if they don't control it, they'll lose everything. But the truth is, the more you try to force life, the more resistance you create. You have to learn to trust. You have to believe that what's meant for you will come. The right people, the right opportunities, the right moments, they will find you when the time is right. Not when you're desperate, not when you're forcing things, not when you're pretending to be someone you're not, but when you are at peace with yourself, when you are aligned with your true purpose. Think about it. How many times have you tried to hold on to something that wasn't working, only to realize later that letting go was the best thing you could have done? How many times have you worried about things that didn't even matter in the end? How many times has life surprised you in ways you never saw coming? That's because there is a rhythm to life, a natural flow. When you stop resisting it, when you stop stressing over what you can't control, you allow that flow to take you exactly where you need to be. But here's the catch. You have to be okay with yourself first. You can't expect the right things to align if you don't even know who you are. You have to find peace in yourself. You have to learn to love yourself, to trust yourself, to believe that you are enough just as you are. Because when you do that, you stop seeking external validation. You stop chasing things that aren't meant for you. You stop settling for less than what you deserve. And that's when life starts to align. That's when the right people show up, the ones who see you, who appreciate you, who don't require you to be anything other than yourself. That's when the right opportunities come, not out of desperation, but out of alignment with your purpose. That's when you finally feel a sense of peace, knowing that you don't have to control everything, because what's meant for you will always find you. So take a deep breath, let go of the stress, let go of the doubt, let go of the need to force everything into place. Trust yourself, trust your journey, and watch how everything falls into place exactly as it's meant to. So I challenge you today, stop caring about things that don't matter. Stop wasting your energy on fear, on doubt, on the opinions of people who don't walk your path. Let go of the need for approval. Let go of the idea that you have to control everything for things to work out. You don't. The moment you release that weight, the moment you stop chasing and start trusting, everything changes. Because life has been waiting for you, not the version of you that's afraid, not the version of you that's constantly seeking validation, but the real you, the powerful you, the version of you that knows you are enough, that believes in yourself even when no one else does. So step into your power, trust yourself, move forward with confidence, because the moment you do, everything will fall into place. Thank you.